Political analyst Otis Sanford with us now. We've been talking about this thing since the very beginning, Otis. It's been heart-wrenching, it's been heartbreaking, and very, from anger to sadness. It's just been a whole,
whirlwind.
You name it. Just what are your thoughts as we have a guilty verdict now for all three of these men?
Well, certainly there is partial closure here, Richard and Pepper. I heard the Nichols family saying that they were happy or ecstatic, and maybe they are in some respects, but there's still a lot more to go. And for this particular case, it's obvious to me, and I covered federal court for 7 years, it's obvious to me that this jury looked closely at the video to see who exactly did the beating here. And assuming they determined that the two former officers who pleaded guilty probably were the most culpable here. But they decided that all 5 of them were guilty of the obstruction of justice. So the fact that this was a quick verdict, in my respects, it was a quick verdict, only lasted less than a day, told me that the jury went in there with a mindset to say who actually did the worst beating of Tyre, and then let's go from there.
Yeah, 11. They were deliberated 11. We got a verdict right before 5 o'clock. You mentioned video, and I know the prosecution actually said that part of their closing argument was these officers acted as if they weren't going to get caught or on video, or it wasn't going to be seen in that way. We know that video has played a huge part of this case. What do you have to say just about that playing into the verdicts tonight?
Well, there's no question that the video was the smoking gun, the firing gun, if you will.
As it is in all these police brutality
Absolutely.
cases. If we didn't have cameras on
really,
these officers.
And really, thank God for video. Because I'll take you back to 1971 in the very infamous case of Elton Hayes. We've talked about that before, Richard. He was beaten to death by police and county sheriff deputies. They were found not guilty because there was no video anywhere. So thank God for video these days, for body cameras and dash cams and cameras on top of light poles and all of that, that captures what's going on here. And the jury, I believe, looked at that very carefully to see who actually did what here.
Multiple angles, too, you're right.
The makeup of the jury, we've talked about it. 7 white people, 5 black people, mixture of men and women, obviously, and the importance of it being a majority white jury in this case. Yeah,
that was kind of interesting, but that's our federal system. The federal jury pool stretches far beyond Memphis and Shelby County. The federal court is a western district of Tennessee, and I don't know who these jurors are, but I would imagine that some of them are coming from outside of Shelby County in perhaps some rural areas. I'm not sure that played a real big role in the decision, just because
the video.
The video played the role here. But there's one other thing I want to point out here, and this will never happen, or it won't happen anytime soon. I think it's important for our government, the justice system, to look closer at having cameras in the federal courtroom so that the public, which can see it in state court, but cannot see the trial in federal court, and maybe they can glean better understandings of how federal trials work. Again, I covered many of them as a reporter, but there's never been an opportunity for cameras to be in the courtroom, and I think that will allay some of the complaints that people have about how federal trials work.
Let's talk